lovers, the moon is a thing of beauty. But to this man it is a deadly curse. When the moon is full, this miserable wretch turns into a hairy, snarling half-man, half-beast that prowls the night, his fangs thirsty for human blood. He is a werewolf.
Hello, and welcome to the Werewolf by Night podcast, the show where we talk about Marvel's number one lycanthrope, Jack Russell, aka the Werewolf, aka the Shaggy One, aka Russell Jackson, and he's also known as the Demon of Wundagore. I'm your co-host, Matt Howell.
I'm your other host, Jacob Balcom.
Thank you for joining us this week, listeners. We have kind of a slight show for you. We're just, what are we doing, Jacob? Circling the drain? Are we checking all the boxes?
I think checking all the boxes is a little more positive spin on what we're doing here with Jack Russell's appearances.
Yes, so if you are a longtime listener of the show, I think you know from at one point I went into a reading list for Werewolf by Night and just noted every time he came down and when it was published, and I made that the master list. And at some point, Jacob looked ahead and said, you know, Matt, some of these Doctor Strange things in the late 80s, he's not actually in them. There's like just his name, literally his name or whatever. And there's this whole B story that runs through there about the Darkhold and Tomes of Magic. So I kind of wanted to keep at least one in. So just so we kind of get a taste of what they were doing, because I don't know if editorial was working up to the Rise of the Midnight Suns or something. Like, isn't Montesi, isn't the descendant of the Montesis one of the members in that whole Midnight Sun storyline? Like Carla Montesi or something like that?
Yeah, you know, I think so. But then, yeah, I mean, the Montesi formula comes up and it's in an arc in Doctor Strange from the early 80s. Like, I think that's the most recent appearance at this point. But yeah, you're right. I think a descendant does at least have something to do with the Midnight Suns.
And I actually started a thread, I haven't shared it with you yet, a spreadsheet in Google for possible sagas or storylines to do it in Bronze Age monsters. Because I thought maybe the original Montesi thing, it's like a 6-issue, be a nice little tight, starts in Tomb of Dracula, then goes to Doctor Strange for a few issues, spans a few years, like, a big jump, but kind of a tight little story. I think it'd be fun to do some of that kind of stuff like that. So I made a place for us to dump these ideas as we're moving on to the new show.
Cool. I'd be into that.
Speaking of, in case you are new to the show, we are rebranding. We are at the end of where our sidewalk ends for the Jack Russell and the Werewolf, which is 1990. And there's a steep cliff there and lots of blinking lights and sawhorses. So it's lava. 90s is lava.
It is. That's been established.
Yep. We are rebranding. We missed just even through these 80s issues. I've been having fun, and it's fun seeing the art and the industry change and everything, but we've been missing the 70s weirdness, so we're going back. And we're rebranding as Bronze Age Monsters, and we're just doing weird 70s Bronze Age stuff. Mostly monster focused, but I'm not closing myself off to anything.
Yeah, I mean, and I think we did a poll where people voted what they would most like us to go through on our first post Jack Russell season, and it was, I don't know if it was a resounding victory, but it was people decided that we should go through the original Son of Satan run, and so that's what we're gonna do for season 4 of this show. It's rebrand, and we're switching over to Hellstrom. Yes,
and I'm excited. I had read through that stuff when the Marvel Essentials, Marvel Horror 1 came out. I think it was all him and his sister. I didn't love it in black and white, but flipping through some of the color stuff, it definitely pops. And it's definitely that, what Brad calls Saturday morning Satanism. That just, I love it, man. Like there should be bed sheets with like him battling demons. You know what I mean? Like everybody had Star Wars bed sheets. I just love it. It's so bizarre.
Yeah, it's really, really weird. And yeah, it's such a good example of, what Joe Keating calls the grindhouse era of Marvel, where how the hell did this character become a thing? Like, and Stan suggested that this is a Stan Lee joint here. Like it's crazy. So yeah, we can't wait to go through it. It's going to be a lot of fun.
I don't know if it was Roy or who it was, Jerry or somebody talked him down. He wanted just to be Satan.
He wanted it to be Satan. Yeah.
Like, how about son of Satan? He's actually fighting against his dad. So parents don't ban us forever because the Beatles said they're bigger than Jesus and everybody burned their records.
Yeah.
So somebody had more sense than Stan at that point. So we have a voicemail line, and that voicemail is going to stay the same. It is 971-220-5865. That's 971-220-JUNK.
Hey guys, this is Michael Giacchino. I'm just calling because I have nothing else to do. I'm unemployed, and I'm just listening and catching up to the podcast, which is great. Just listening to the night shift stuff, which is really a blast. I do have a complaint, though. Your voicemail message, it's nice, but it needs some music behind it. And I know that you guys are musical, so let's get some music on that. That'd be great. And then I just also have to say this out loud. Like, I am literally just not a big fan of talking werewolves. Just not. I mean, every time he talks or smiles or jokes, it just makes me sad. Anyway, I truly believe werewolves should be dangerous. That's it. Bye-bye.
Well, that was awesome. I mean, Matt, you and I both know that Michael, he's told us this many times, that he does not like the grinning, speaking Jack Russell. He doesn't think that any werewolf should have any type of sentience, that they should just be bestial.
Yeah. I remember when he was on for the Iron Man 209 episode, I think, or maybe it was actually the interview. And I think he just paused into one moment and just said, "Do you guys like when Jack talks?"
He did. He did.
I can tell he was. He knew his answer.
Oh yeah, no, he came prepared for that.
Yeah. Michael, thank you for calling. It was great to hear from you. We would love to hear from anybody who listens to the show and has an opinion. That's 971-220-5865. 971-220-JUNK. And I promise, Michael, we will use some of Jacob's music and improve our outgoing voicemail message. Sorry, it was boring. Cool. All right. So as you know, we have that Discord server we've been doing, and it's been super fun. I'm sticking 7-day expiration date links inside of the show notes so people can join when they want. We've had a few people join us since we did this last week. Thank you for joining us. It's cool. And that kind of pivots into our final bit of business before we talk about this comic, which is our finale. We're soliciting, if you've listened to season 1 or season 2 finales, you know that we do categories to top 3 whatevers, frequently covers, characters, story arcs, villains, stuff like that. We would love to hear from you what you would like it to be, and we're also going to be getting people's votes. And I proposed to Jacob tonight that we do the finale live on YouTube as a StreamYard stream, so that you folks can get on and chat if you want, chime in live in the moment, and we will capture that episode, and that will be the one we publish for our finale. So, yeah, off the top of our heads, we can propose a couple, but I'd love to hear from our listeners. So what are you thinking, Jacob?
I mean, just for stuff topics we're going to cover on the finale. Well, I had suggested, I think so. Throughout these 3 seasons, you and I have watched nearly a werewolf movie every episode, and so we've watched a lot. And so I propose that we at least pick our top 5. And that's all time, top 5 all time werewolf films out of all of the ones we've seen, which is a lot.
That's hard, but I can do it.
I think top 3 would be hard. Top 5 is a little easier.
Yeah. It's just, yeah. I mean, there's certain things that are just a lock, right? Like Dog Soldiers, you know that's going to be on there. There's some ringers in there, but there's also some dark horses like La Loba or whatever that was. Like every time I think of that, it makes me smile inside. Like that was such a crazy ass movie. So it's going to be hard to go through all those and be like, damn, I really did like that weird B movie. Like,
yeah, it is going to be hard. And I'm just going to, I have a tendency to overthink these things. I'm not going to overthink it. I'm just going to totally go with my gut on this one. Okay. So mine could just be dark horse picks. Who knows? My gut is strange.
Yeah.
It's a mystery, even to me.
I think last season, didn't you nominate Werewolf in a Girl's Dormitory for one of them, or did I make that up?
That sounds like something I would have said.
I remember that being like a wow. Okay. Like as you explained your thinking, I was like, okay, yeah, I can see that. I might
don't
be
know if it
making
was
that up.
that one. Maybe, but I don't know.
It was
I
probably
did
something
like
else.
that one. I did really like that one. So, no, I think the only real lock I was thinking of it, because there's the obvious choices, you know, I mean, the big ones like American Werewolf in London, The Howling. I'm not going to choose any of those. I don't think so.
I mean, they should come off the table. I feel
They
like
should come off the table. Like there should be at least 3 or 4 that are just not in the running because they're just so classic and they're so well known and loved. It's boring.
I think barring Full Moon High, all 1981 films seem to be off the table.
Oh, even Wolfen?
Okay, you're right. You know what? That's not considered. Yes, that's fair. Let's leave Wolfen on the table.
I think we should leave Wolfen on the table. But yeah, American Werewolf in London, The Howling, you know, even the original Wolfman, I think should be off the table because they're just obvious. I think we should go for fun picks, talk about why we like them. To make a prediction, the only one I really think is going to be on both our lists is The Beast and the Magic Sword. Just saying. I don't want to be a prognosticator here.
That's cool. No, I can do that as long as we take those 3 Stone Cold classics off the list. I feel much. I'm more excited to do it now.
Yeah, because that's valuable real estate, and
right.
So I don't even want those to be in the mix.
Yeah.
Not because they're bad, because they're
so good they freeze out.
They're ubiquitous.
Yeah,
like they're just they freeze out other more exciting picks. So
yeah. When someone says what are your 3 favorite bands, you just say not the Beatles, obviously.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that should be built in, I guess.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, we're of one mind there. So yeah, you can go to our Patreon page and suggest. We'll start a thread there for topics for the finale. That's patreon.com/Werewolf by Night podcast. And you can find us on Twitter at Werewolf Podcast and Instagram at Werewolf by Night Podcast, separated by underscores. Let us know which topics you would like, and we're going to be soliciting votes from you as well. I love going through and seeing what people responded to, art-wise, story-wise, whatever, and these things. That's some of the most fun for me.
Yeah, me too.
And trying to guess what you'll pick. You always have some curveballs for me too, which I love. Keeps our relationship fresh.
I'm a human being that consists only of curveballs.
I think that Dostoevsky said that.
Mm-hmm.
I am not a piano key.
Yeah.
Okay. Last bit of business before we dive in here. Speaking of Bronze Age monsters, you can find us on Twitter and on Instagram. We've already got those accounts that claim those titles. So we have those accounts ready. We'll be sharing those in the show notes, so you can follow those now, just so you don't skip a beat between when we rebrand in January. Cool. Oh, my point was we have really awesome logo that we had made by Francois Vignon. I think is how you say his name. He's a Canadian graphic designer. And we sent him a ton of 70s monster comic book cover logos and said, do this, but make it say Bronze Age monsters. Just cook these all down into a roux. And he did, and it fucking rules. So we're going to have t-shirts, hopefully make pint glasses or coffee mugs, something like that with this stuff on it. And we'll have a shop opening soon in Threadless.
Threadless. Yep.
Once I figured out how to start the store.
Yep.
I did start an account. I just got confused because I'm old and I'm scared of everything.
Yep.
But we'll be getting those shirts hopefully in the new year. And the shop will be open, and we'll have some for our special guests. Okay. So we are at the, I wasn't planning on talking about the cover, but we can if you want, but we're on Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme number 9 from 1989. This is cover dated November 1989. The last time we saw Jack in that Incredible Hulk issue was November. So not that long.
No, not that long. But like you said, so we're not going to be dealing with the A story, which is actually kind of interesting. I mean, for anyone who is getting this on Marvel Unlimited, check out the A story. It's kind of interesting. It's basically just a giant magazine article expose that is on Stephen Strange. And if you haven't read Doctor Strange, Sorcerer Supreme, read around this time, I mean, Topaz is still a big part of the Doctor Strange world, so that's exciting. And it's a really cool story. The A story is written by Roy and Dan Thomas, and check it out. But we're going to be dealing with the backup story, which has been running for a little while now in Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme. It's called the Book of Vishanti. And this installation of that is called The Curse of the Darkhold, Part 1, the Montesi Formula. So this story is written by Roy Thomas and R.J.M. Lafessiere. Now, let's just talk a tiny bit about Roy Thomas. He is enormous. Everyone knows who Roy Thomas is. He's a legendary comics writer, historian, just wrote, from the 60s on. In the 80s, for the first half of the 80s, Roy isn't at Marvel because a certain person named Jim Shooter is there. And he is mainly working at DC, doing stuff like All-Star Squadron, which he loves because, it takes place in the 40s and he loves that shit so much. And he's also writing movie scripts with his partner, Jerry Conway, like Fire and Ice and the Conan the Destroyer, I think. I think it was that sequel that they at least have story credits by. So, I think Jim Shooter got fired in 87. And so after that, you'll kind of notice some of the old guard starting to migrate back. So in 1989 at Marvel, Roy and his wife Dan are writing Saga of the Submariner and Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme. Now, I think they're also writing Young All-Stars over at DC, which, is another book that kind of takes place.
When did exclusives become standard between Marvel and DC like that? You can't.
Well, remember, that was more. I mean, that really was a thing that was strict in the 60s, and Neil Adams kind of blew that apart. So, exclusives really kind of became a bigger thing, I think, later on, actually, where people would sign exclusive contracts. But most people at this period can work for both companies and have for a while, really. I mean, is it fair to say, I'm just guessing and shooting in the dark, that's related to like the rise of the rock star artist even poking through the pop culture, like Liefeld and McFarlane and Image starting? Like, is that was when they're trying to lock people down, or is it later? I think that's probably a good guess. I would think that, that makes a lot of sense. But, this is all, a mystery to you and I, who kind of, jumped off the big two ship of comics in the 90s. And so, it's a mystery. The 90s is a mystery.
And can I ask you one more question?
Yes.
So you said Shooter left in 87. Mm-hmm. I believe that is when it was apparent that the new universe, this big Gambit, was a failure financially and critically. Do you know? Is there any inside dope on was that the thing where they're like, call them on the carpet, the executive board or whatever, the shareholders, and were like, this was a big gamble. You did it with Secret Wars. It was a big win. You did this, and this was a huge failure. So you got to go.
I think it was probably a lot of things, but maybe that was what was on the surface.
Yeah. Like nominally the reason.
Yeah, I think that's fair to say. But, Shooter, when he started out, I mean, you and I both have said, like, in the first couple of years when he was at Marvel, he did really cool shit. Mm-hmm. And then I think, once Secret Wars hit, that made his head blow up a bit. And so he did a lot of stuff, after that wasn't very cool. And by 87 he was out. So you got people like Conway and Wolfman and Thomas
coming back,
feeling comfortable to come back. I think, everyone had kind of done a little bit of stuff, never quite left, but I don't know though. I think Thomas was kind of out for a while.
Okay. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I forgot about All-Star Squadron. So I'm sorry, please continue.
So his co-writers for this backup story are, it's credited as R.J.M. Lafessiere, and that's actually a husband and wife duo, Randy and Jean-Marc, who worked in animation, like the real Ghostbusters, all the way up to like DuckTales. They did translation for Moebius and wrote a bunch of comics for DC and Marvel before They started a company in the early 2000s that advised comic creators on how to make it in Hollywood. Swear to God, I think it's called Hollywood Comics. And it was like
to the point.
It was to the point. I think it was like a consulting firm almost to help the young creator navigate the wiles of Hollywood. Wow. So this was the early 2000s. So I'm sure they had a lot of clients and probably did really well.
They probably, yeah. I mean, we got to the point 15 years later where people were just writing a 6-issue story just to be spec for a script, right? I mean, there was like some notorious indie publishers that were just doing that, like Aliens and Indian Cowboys and Aliens, whatever.
Cowboys and Aliens, yeah.
That was intended to be a spec script from the get-go, right? That was never meant to be.
I think so. I think I remember reading that.
I've heard that.
Yeah. So the artists on this, I wasn't familiar with the artists. It's a team of brothers. A lot of teams on this issue. So it's David and Dan Day. And they handle the art duties, penciling and inking. So this team of brothers worked at Marvel from about 88 to around 94, mostly on Doctor Strange and some other stuff. But they did these strange mini comics that were packaged with Drake's snack cakes. They the type it's super 90s. Like this is I think early to almost, I don't know, I can't remember what they are, like 92 or 93. But it was like a mini series, and it was like 4 issues, all with different titles that I guess kind of linked together. Like titles like Wolverine, Danger on the Docks.
Oh, they were Marvel mini comics.
Yeah, they were Marvel mini comics. Yeah, and Silver Surfer, Lunacy in Latveria. Wow. And so, yeah, these were packaged with snack cakes, and you could get all 4 of them. Oh man, yeah, that was kind of a crack up to try and research a little bit about that. It took me forever. I'm just like, what the fuck are these things? And then I had to read like way down in the GCD entries, and it's like, these were mini comics packaged with Drake's snack cakes. Collect them all.
Have you even seen Drake's? I only know Drake's from Seinfeld.
I don't think that's
coffee cake.
I don't think it's a West Coast thing.
No, yeah, it's like Okay.
So I've never seen them. Yeah, I have no idea what they are. But you're right, they do show up in Seinfeld. So yeah, then we have some people we know pretty well working on this issue, like Joe Rosen as the letterer, Christy Scheel as the colorist, and Ralph Macchio as the editor. And yeah, so no, it's kind of cool. There were people that I was not aware of that were creators on this backup. So it was nice to kind of learn a little bit about them.
What is your impression of this run, this Doctor Strange Sorcerer Supreme? Because it had a pretty healthy run, right? Like 5 years maybe or so?
Yeah, I think so. Is
it generally considered to be they've collected it, right? Like it's been it's not been abandoned or ignored. Like I don't think it's been abandoned or ignored. I mean, Roy Thomas writes a lot of it. Yeah.
And I don't I've read a handful of issues. I actually remember, I think it was a title that I had picked up a few issues back in the day, and I kind of liked it. I didn't like it enough to, add it to my box or anything. But yeah, from what I've read, I mean, I don't know, I've probably read 7 or 8 issues on Marvel Unlimited. There's a couple that Jack actually appears in that we're going to be dealing with in the next couple of weeks that I actually thought were pretty cool. So no, for an 80s Doctor Strange comic, I think it's pretty cool. I don't really know exactly how it was received or is remembered, but I would be shocked if it had been forgotten because it seems pretty solid. Was
Roy writing it through the whole run?
I'm not sure if he was through the whole run. I know that he wrote a lot of it.
Okay. I mostly remember from this era when they relaunched, I think it was volume 3 of like Astonishing Tales or Tales of... It was half Cloak and Dagger, half Doctor Strange.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I was really into because I think I liked Cloak and Dagger. But
yeah,
but I liked the Doctor Strange stories because they were creepy.
Yeah, and they're cool. They're super cool.
Yeah. So, folks, this is kind of a cool backup. Did you say this has been going since the whole run of this series, but different chapters of the Book of Vishanti?
Yeah, well, I at least think it was going. I haven't checked every issue, but while I was looking at David and Dan Day's credits, they had worked on a couple of these that had gone back to like issue 5 and issue 3, and so I think it's been around for a little while.
Cool. So the curse of is it the curse? Okay, I'm not going to ask you. You don't know. Okay. Cool. Okay, I thought this was the first one for some reason because it said Part 1, the Montesi formula, so I just assumed this was the beginning. But this doesn't matter.
It's just this is the curse of the Darkhold part of the Book of Vishanti. Like you said, I think it goes through a lot of other tomes and mystical shit. And so, yeah, this is just the part that is about the Darkhold. And you chose right, I think. I think this is the Part 1 is where a lot of it is just kind of a greatest hits of the appearances of the Darkhold, which, of course, we know originated in Werewolf by Night.
Yeah, so I thought, we could, since this was kind of retreading a bunch of stuff we did in season 1, it'd be kind of cool as the show's winding down and pre-rebranding to like do a victory lap and just kind of revisit some of these cool moments from the Darkhold's past, which was tied very tightly in with Jack's past.
For sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to read kind of the opening, I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. This is some of the opening narration or dialogue talks about the Darkhold. It says the Darkhold had been known by those who trod the magic ways to contain a secret spell, a formula which would utterly destroy all vampires. Yet in an irony of capricious fate, it was a creature of a quite different stripe who set in motion the chain of events that led to their annihilation. When young Jack Russell was captured at gunpoint as he drew near a secluded island off the coast of California. And we get a great kind of long panel on the side there that is, it's Jack arriving at Blackgar Island. And we see, Miles Blackgar saying, "Welcome to Blackgar Island, my boy. I am Miles Blackgar, and this is my daughter, Marlene." And so, it's kind of cool. So we go back right to the beginning.
Yeah. So far, I've really enjoyed Christy Shields' work. However, on this one, she made Jack look like a young Buck Cowan.
Yep.
And she made Marlene look like Topaz. I thought she had red hair, like flame red hair in the
yes, and she gives Topaz dark hair at one point too. I know. Yeah, okay. I know. That was weird because Christy Shield colored Werewolf by Night.
There was
So
yeah, I felt like this was like the Sunday morning comics where it's like find 6 mistakes.
Yeah, it really was kind of like that.
Because I was definitely doing that myself. So I'm kind of torn on this art, just personal taste wise. I like it, and I think it's pretty cool throughout. Like this big vertical panel of Doctor Strange leaning over whatever this tome is, talking about the Darkhold. And it's like his Batcave, right? It's in his Sanctum Sanctorum. So there's all these weird artifacts from different adventures he's had and things that he's kind of brought back as trophies, probably to protect more than trophies, but to keep out of the hands of people who are not scrupulous. But I love that where his face is like entirely cast in dark except for like one sliver, like a new moon. Like that's cool. That's fucking cool. And I'm always happy to see Blackgar Island. Like I love that dopey shit, man. I wanted to do this contest, but I didn't have time to do it. But like, I want to do like a, whoever the first person is to send us every episode number of our show that had these individual, like, of course this is Marvel Spotlight number 3 or whatever, but like what episode was that? And if you send us a full list of every item we referenced that had every episode, you get some like a signed Werewolf by Night poster from Michael Giacchino or something, but I didn't have time to do it.
Damn. Oh, that would have been cool, but but yeah, no, and I made notes like some of this stuff I didn't know because we talk about Jack's appearances in a lot of this, but it goes into High Evolutionary, and I kind of know where that shit is, but I'll try and mention that Blackgar Island is from Marvel Spotlight 4.
Yeah, thank you. 4. You correct. Okay, good. So the next page, it reveals that Jack had been looking for the Darkhold, hoping to cure his curse that he had recently acquired when he turned 18. And we then kind of slide into Father Damon Joquez, which is incorrect.
So wrong.
It's Ramon. I remember this. I was like, that's not right.
No, it's not.
I don't know what it is, but I know it's not Damon. So yeah, little editorial slip there. I like how this weird, looks like the demon coming out of the Darkhold looks like Spider Side or like some Spider-Man related thing. Like it really goofy. Yeah, so this is back to I would say Werewolf by Night. I thought this would be kind of fun too, just trying to remember. Like I think this is Werewolf by Night 5 or 4 when
It's Werewolf by Night 3.
Damn it. Okay, I love that you did this. This is like a game show now. Okay, so we met him in issue 2, and he said I'll study the Darkhold, and then in issue 3 was when he got taken over by Elfric the Mad Monk.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, so he went mad. He got taken over. His corporeal form became possessed by Elfric the Mad Monk, and his physical aspects changed. Like he physically was like he was such a powerful force that he took over his physical form. I love that shit, man. I get really fucking geeked out on this shit. And he created this thing called Dragonus, which is a giant Minotaur battle knight. And if you recall, he had that thing charge Jack, who he had magically bound up to the wall. And that's supposed to be Lissa, I believe, because she went to save Jack, I think. Oh, that's right. When all their skin fell off. Remember those cops who, God, that was horrifying. God, I love that issue.
That's a great issue.
This is what I wanted to do this for, to talk about old stuff.
Just remember that. Yeah. Yeah. The art was so awesome on that. The Plug art was amazing. That's when he really started to show how great he was at body horror.
Yes. That was a body horrific issue. So Dragonus accidentally impaled his master, which made him, I think, disappear back into whatever ether he came from. And Jack was free.
Yeah. What a great, I do like how the Day brothers draw the werewolf.
Oh my God, he's cool. Yes, thank you for saying that.
They're so good. Like every time, I mean, this is what I think this is just an 8-page backup, but every time you see Jack in his beast form, fucking amazing. They do a great job.
And he looks like everything that I like about Plug's version, about Perlin's version, about like it's like every good aspect of every werewolf we've seen in one to me.
Yeah, and I don't think that we've seen a more modern artist do that well, honestly. Like, I think that, I mean, if we were to choose like an 80s, late 70s, 80s version of the werewolf, I almost think this is the best one.
It is so far.
Yeah. I mean, you're right. It's such a perfect combination of definitely of Plug and Perlin. So no, I fucking love it. And I love how Dragonus looks too.
Who was doing the art on the Spider Woman issues? At least that Enforcer 132 or whatever that was. Do you remember offhand?
Shit, who
deep
was
storage.
Doing that? Oof, that is deep storage.
I think he was relatively Perlin-y, right? Like just kind of.
Yeah, he was pretty Perlin-y. Yeah,
I think this embraces Plug more, which is why I'm thinking this would be my favorite artist of this season.
Oh, I think this is. I would say this is 70% Plug. 30% Perlin if we're going to do a breakdown.
Totally agree.
Yeah, I love it. No, this is a super, super great page. So on the next one, next page, we kind of figure out, well, right as we said that, okay, in that first panel on that next page.
Oh, he's like Chaka.
He looks like Chaka. He has a bowl cut. Right after we praised you, Dan Brothers, and then Day Brothers, and Christy, you got to do this to us. So yeah, that's not a great one. That's I think the worst one of the issue, where he looks like Chaka with a bowl cut.
Yeah, why not the flesh tones?
I don't know, Christy.
It's not like did she let her kid color one panel? Like just I
don't know.
You can do it. Come on, honey. It's fun.
Yeah, it's weird. I don't. Yeah,
the next panel is fucking fire.
Oh my God, that next panel is amazing. Everyone looks good there. Fucking oh yeah, Lissa, everyone so good. So, and it's just kind of going through how, Father Oquez dies and, turns back into his nice. What was he? He was like a journalist, not a journalist, but he was like an activist. He was like a priest who was an activist for the working man,
a true Christian. Yes, he was
an actual Christian.
Protests and stuff. Yeah, I know. Rarely a Christian priest.
Yeah, wow. We don't see that a lot, but yeah, he really was, and I loved that character. I thought he was so cool. It was great creation of Conway's.
Mm-hmm.
So for the rest of this page, it goes on and talks about. It says, "For there was another who sought the Darkhold, Count Dracula. That says, years past, the Lord of Vampires had suspected that Transylvanian neighbor Baron Rusov possessed the vile and dangerous book. Perhaps he reasoned Rusov sought in it a cure for the lycanthropy which gripped him 3 nights a month. And then we get back to some really old shit on these bottom panels. Says, and indeed, the pursuit of deliverance, Rusov had once used the Darkhold to bring back the elder god Chthon. Only the powers of the High Evolutionary and his mutated Knights of Wundagore held him at bay. And so I think, geez, this is the thing that kind of bums me out, because this is fucking Roy writing this, who is the king of editorial notes.
Oh, this retconning right here?
Yeah. No, I mean, just in telling us what fucking issues this is from. Like, my God, Roy loves putting this shit in. Why doesn't it say this is from this? I mean, a lot of this high evolutionary stuff, I kind of remember there was a thing in the 80s that was like a mini event. There was the Evolutionary War that ran through those annuals. I fucking love those, especially the X-Men one. They're great. And I think some of this stuff is from there. I didn't go back and reread, but my 80 cents is saying that, I think some of this came from that. The deeper stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, Chthon got introduced probably by Roy, doing some type of Lovecrafty kind of nod, or probably to his lesser followers who actually were in the whole pantheon. You know, Lovecraft didn't get off on this whole name every character and rank them in their power set. He was just like, no, they're scary shit. And there's creepy names. That's what's scary about it. Yeah, he does. Am I wrong here? Does he retcon? Or no, he's talking about. Have we seen Baron Rusov? The Baron. Is that no? Sorry, not the Baron. Gregory. Is this Gregory? Or is this?
I'm not sure. A lot of this stuff I was not aware of, because this is more Darkhold stuff. And high evolutionary stuff, which I have not read everything of. So that's why when a lot of this stuff to where I'm like, wait, is this a retcon? Is this an issue I haven't read? Where are the fucking editorial notes? Where is it telling? If it just tell me what issue. I didn't understand. That's my biggest gripe about this backup. I mean, is it an artistic choice because you'd have to put them like every other panel?
Yeah.
I think it is.
I think that, I got it when I was reading. Like, I can see why they didn't, because it would be really noisy. You could almost like just put a page at the end, a text page of just like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Yeah, why didn't they do that? That would have been so easy.
Like footnotes. But yeah, it says on the bottom of that page though, but when the reincarnated sorcerer Magnus had forced Rusov to banish Chthon for a second time, the elder god had struck the Baron dead, which is not how we understand this, because it says even Dracula could not have anticipated that on Rusov's death, his estate would be sent to his former wife in California. So this is Baron Rusov, not Gregory, his great-great-grandfather.
Correct.
This is the 1900s. Okay. So they retconned him, right? Because in our understanding, he turned into a werewolf and escaped from his self-prison.
His
and
tower, and then the villagers killed him.
Because the lightning struck it and right? Like Universal.
Yes, I think compared to the original Werewolf by Night story and origin story of the Rusovs, this is a retcon. This is different than what Conway wrote. Okay.
I'm glad I'm not like misremembering it.
No. You're totally right. And so, it says more at the bottom. It says, upon Laura Russell's demise, soon after, her second husband had sold the estate to a power-mad man of science, Miles Blackgar. The Darkhold seemed out of Dracula's reach for the moment. So this is a history of the Darkhold, but it's really, like it said in the title, this is kind of framed around the Montesi formula.
Yeah.
And Dracula. So we're going to be going in and out of that.
Yeah, and we have here a nice visual callback on the next page to that 2-issue Dracula Werewolf by Night crossover. I remember this vividly, and it was not a brunette who was doing this. She was holding the Darkhold to her chest, and when she was framed in the moon with beautiful flaxen hair flowing.
That's right,
because it was topaz.
It's topaz.
But I fucking love the art in the foreground of Dracula having his face raked by the werewolf, and the werewolf is slavering green drool. Could not, other than Christy Shields' colors, I would not change a goddamn thing on that.
No, it's gorgeous. Do you have a guess as to what Werewolf by Night issue this is? I mean, this is probably
15.
more Tomb of Dracula. 15, you are correct.
I knew it was Tomb of Dracula 18,
Yep.
Werewolf by Night 15.
Awesome.
And we see this cool Rachel Van Helsing. I remember this too, when she shot that crossbow, what do they call those, bolts?
Yes, fucking awesome.
And I remember when they crashed in their helicopter in the Alps. And I remember telling you in that issue, or that episode, that there's a really cool issue in Tomb of Dracula where they're forced to survive together to get through the storm in the middle of nowhere. Dracula doesn't. I don't think he needs anything, but like he helps her live because he has some rationale of like, if she dies, I will get something. I forgot what it was, but anyway, it's a cool bottle.
So
episode.
would that be Tomb of Dracula 19?
I think so.
Was it the following issue? I'll have to
Pretty
read
sure
that.
that's a really good issue. I remember
Cool.
like really liking that one.
So yeah, on the next page. So now we're getting into stuff that, yeah, I don't really know. Even though I think a lot of this comes from that Doctor Strange arc in 83. It's talking about the Montesi formula, how it's the threat to all vampires, and yeah, we kind of go to it says a little known wing in the Vatican Library in Rome, a wing devoted secretly to occult lore and presided over by an aged but powerful prelate who affected the dress of a monk, Monsignor Giuseppe Montesi. And so, yeah, this is kind of, it says, poring over the dead priest's notes, he exulted because even those incomplete scribblings meant the achievement of his family's long-cherished dream. The ancient Montesi formula was once more in his hands. And this is a formula that will destroy all vampires, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And so, yeah, this one just kind of goes over and talks about, yeah, Montesi and Dracula fighting. And yeah, it ends with Montesi dying, right?
Yeah. I was curious. I want to go back. I do hope we read this in Bronze Age Monsters because I want to know how Dracula got into the Vatican City with, his known weaknesses.
So many crosses.
Yeah. Yeah, on the next page, we get kind of a cool, this is some stuff I did and didn't know. Morgan Le Fay finds that Darkhold stuck in the Alps in the snow. Oh, that's right, because on that page you were talking about, or no, the one before that I was covering, Dracula has the Montesi formula. He has the Darkhold, which has the Montesi formula in it, and he cavalierly says, well, no one will ever find it up here, and he just throws it.
He throws it.
No, and just walks off like, nah, I'm good. I don't need it anymore. I feel safe now. So Morgan Le Fay finds it when she jumps to our time and gets corporeal form, wearing her cool Stevie Nicks outfit. And we go back to some stuff we know from this season, which is Magnus and Spider-Woman when they fought him. When they teamed up and fought her. And there's Mordred the Mystic, which we're going to cover a little bit in season 5. He didn't have many appearances, but he's definitely heavily linked to the Darkhold. Is he her son? Morgan Le Fay's son? Do we know yet?
I don't think we know that yet.
Okay. I feel like there was a random, like, in that issue we talked about with Michael, that she alluded to him as like family or something. She had a connection to him. Yeah, so we get to see some other flashbacks of stuff I didn't know, like Scarlet Witch being taken over by the power of Chthon through Modred's magic, and her turning on the Avengers as he's even. I didn't know. I was confused. They said Wanda called her by a different surname, and then it says Django Maximoff. Was she adopted by? I always thought it was Wanda Maximoff.
But Wanda Frank, also known as the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah.
I wish I knew what that was. I don't.
Okay. So yeah, the assembled Avengers were able to deliver Chthon his third defeat. This is his third incarnation on Earth. In the process, they saved the world because they're Avengers.
They are the Avengers. Yeah, I wasn't as familiar with a lot of stuff on that page, and definitely wasn't familiar with the stuff on the next page. It says, if the Darkhold had resurfaced, could Count Dracula be far behind? And since that sinister tome was then in the Avengers' keeping, it was against their mansion that a bearded Dracula... why are those two words so funny together?
I don't
A bearded Dracula hurled his cult of dark holders. Oh man. I don't know about this whole thing. Yeah, he's trying to destroy the Darkhold. They go to Castle Mordo, where Dracula's most committed enemies gathered for a final confrontation. And then Doctor Strange faced Dracula in the Weirdling realm. And then, in the end, it says, in the end, however, the mage gained time to recite the complete Montesi formula. This is Doctor Strange reciting it. And those resounding syllables spell doom not only for Dracula, but for his estranged daughter Lilith in the south of France. Indeed, to all true vampires everywhere. Oh, man, this is a lot. This is a lot to take in.
She was having a mimosa.
She was. Why was she in the south of France? I don't know.
Yeah. I'm assuming if we do this, the Montesi storyline in Bronze Age Monsters, I'm sure we're going to figure this all out.
We're going to figure it all out, and we're going to feel dumb.
Okay, so it gets weirder. On the next page, there's a very action figure-looking guy. So it says, victory hard won, Stephen Strange repaired with a Darkhold to his own domicile. So he has this dangerous tome. But one there was the wizard Urthona, master of a planet where hydrochloric winds whipped across manganese sands, who desired, above all else, to become this cosmos's sorcerer supreme. He looks like... what does he look like? I mean, it's like...
He looks like a He-Man figure or something. Yeah,
or Star Crash, or any kind of Italian Star Wars ripoff. Like, it's just like the Darth Vader of anything. It says, even when Strange seemingly disintegrated his other purloined artifacts, so he, this wizard came and stole all these magical relics. Strange seemingly destroyed all of them, but he spared the Darkhold. And Urthona has it, and he says, the power of the Darkhold, which even you cannot destroy, will spirit me away. How surprised he was mere moments later in a far off place, and he's screaming no as the Darkhold goes up in the air and starts glowing. He says, to see the coveted book vanish from his hand like a fleeting mirage. Because Urthona could not know that Agamotto the All-Seeing, unwilling to see his beloved orb obliterated by Strange, had called it home to his distant dimensions. So I think they're trying to say, Strange said, I'll destroy every artifact I have, but Agamotto was like, well, you can't destroy the Eye of Agamotto. So he pulled that into his realm, and the Darkhold came with it, so it got saved inadvertently. Is that how you read that?
I think so.
But and that Strange's other talismans, from the Darkhold to this very book of the Vishanti, had been drawn along with it, like flotsam caught in a great ship's wake. So I think he was
of stuff.
So Agamotto, pulled in, bunch of stuff, right?
Pulled in a bunch of cool shit, and then
So this is the end of this. It says, yet whatever the Darkhold's fate, the vampire's night on Earth is ended for all time, unless someday a way be found to reverse the Montesi formula and unleash anew the undead hordes. So if we were following this, which we're not, the next story would be Voodoo Vampires and Marie Laveau, which sounds fun. I actually kind of want to read through some of this book of Vishanti stuff.
Yeah, and it's all on Marvel Unlimited, the A and the B stories. So cool. Yeah, it's real easily available. And yeah, this run is cool. I dig this run. So I'll probably end up reading the whole thing just to get a little more context. But it's kind of nice to have some Darkhold context and history, a little shot of that. Curious where it's going to show up next in the MCU. We'll see.
Yeah, it becomes a big player in the next few years in the MCU. Not in a way that, you said MCU. I'm sorry. I thought
MCU,
you meant yeah. Sorry. I thoupe you meant the comics, which I was like, yeah, it does, but I don't want to read them. I don't
want to read them either. Yeah, that's why I was just like, nope. Yeah, I think there's some stuff that has been done in the last year or two. I think more to coincide with Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. There's been some one shots. There's been some other stuff. There was a Darkhold one shot or a mini that got delayed for like a couple of years.
Yep, I remember that.
That I was kind of excited. I was like, oh, well, maybe I'll get that. That'll be cool. We're deep into the Darkhold, and then nope.
Yeah, I think when Rise of the Midnight Suns happened, if that's what it's called, I bought every first issue. And I did not care for the art, and I could not tell what the hell was going on. And I was like, I kind of know this stuff. Like, I should, like, I like Blade, I like Morbius, I like Werewolf by Night, I like Ghost Rider. Like, why is this so confusing and off-putting?
Yep.
Yeah, I think I bailed by issue 2 of all of those.
Yeah. So,
But
no,
the
this was
Darkhold
cool.
had a book.
Yeah, the Darkhold had a book.
Briefly.
So, you know, very briefly. But no, this was nice. This was I'm glad we at least did one of these. We probably didn't need to do all of them, but doing one, it was a good call because it was nice. It's nice to go back, have a little refresher as to all of Jack's Darkhold themed appearances. So yeah, that was cool.
It's nice having I feel like Groucho Marx, we're having like a This Is Your Life thing where it's like, oh, okay, there's a whole, I know, I recognize that voice.
Yeah.
Ramon Joquez.
Yeah.
I tried to kill you when I got possessed by a monk named Elfric. I know who that is.
I also go by Damon.
Damon. Oh, dear. Yeah, I'm glad we did this too. It was fun to have kind of a clip show and just kind of revisit some high points of Jack's first run.
Yeah, that was nice. It's cool. I think, since the Disney Plus special aired, we have a lot more listeners. We have a lot of people that are just going through that first season now and contacting us and posting about it and sending messages. And it's cool. It's, we were so young, Matt.
Yeah, we were.
We were so young. The world was in lockdown. Totally different place.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was a long time ago. In a good way.
Definitely in a good way. I will eventually, as you know, I mean, I listen to every episode, and I will probably go back and re-listen to that first season of just us talking.
That could be fun, I guess.
Yeah, I think that could be fun.
No, I'm totally with you. I think it's great that people are finding this character, finding the book, and diving in. I've seen some folks online saying that they're just kind of jumping in now and like listening to these interviews and like digging that, which is cool. And they're like, I'm going to totally jump back to season 1 and listen to everything. And we appreciate that greatly. Glad that people are into it. Couldn't be happier.
Yeah, I think you had made a prediction, maybe not on the show, but maybe just in us, just the two of us. But you were saying like, oh, maybe someone else is going to start another podcast, or there'll be another deep dive or something. Nope, not yet. It's still just us.
I like to think that our towering and staggering achievement is kind of daunting to newcomers who are like, but that's, I don't know. I'm not peeing in the corner. I'm not like, if somebody want to come in and say, I watched the Werewolf by Night special. This is my wife or my spouse, my significant other, and we're going to go through these from the get-go and discover this character together. I would love if somebody did that,
I would totally listen to that. I really would.
Just don't cross over into our train at all.
No, not even slightly.
Yeah. If there's a drinking game, you will be getting a cease and desist.
Except the Marvel by the Month guys can use our drinking game, Matt. We need to be very clear about that because
Yeah.
I'm
just saying it's got to be R-ball, TM, all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, very cool. I'm glad we did that too. I was once you reminded me that I had scheduled it, I was kind of like, oh shit, this is like a bad idea, but I think that was fun.
No, it was a lot of fun. No, that was really cool. So we're going to be continuing with our series of interviews the rest of this year. So next week we are going to be talking with Leonardo Nam, and we're really excited to do that. Yes,
I've been loving the fact that you've taken this upon yourself to book these interviews with the Hunters and some of the stars from the special. It's been super cool talking to them. Obviously, we knew Kirk from our trip to LA, but talking to Eugenie was awesome. She's a sweetheart, and I can't wait to meet some other folks too. So super stoked to talk to Leonardo.
Definitely.
If you're a Patreon supporter, you can follow. Patreon supporters can join us on the bonus show this week. We make this show every single week for those people that support us at the higher tiers. There's video and audio levels. This week, we're going to be talking about the werewolf film Project Metal Beast from 1995. Film, capital F, italicized. And The Urge to Scourge is done. So I'm going to be starting a little thing I'm going to call Kickstarter Catch Up, which is me talking briefly about comics that I bought on Kickstarter and haven't read. So this week I'm going to be talking about Mr. Monster, The Original Adventures of Doc Stern. And then we're going to talk about Scout Comics Sergeant Werewolf #1, which came out, I think, in September.
Yeah, a real modern one, which we don't do very often. So I'm excited to talk to you about that.
Yeah. So please join us there. If you have not supported us on Patreon, you can go to patreon.com/Werewolf by Night podcast. Join at a tier that you're comfortable with. There's audio versions of the bonus show and video. I recommend the video. That's $3 or above.
So this is the part of the show where we give our shout outs for our patrons. First, we give our shout outs to our pack members who support us at the $5 level and above. That's people like Ryan from Across the Bifrost,
Tim Tucker,
Brian from Marvel by the Month,
Blake, last name withheld,
Caleb,
Ben M,
Michelle from Moonlit Comics,
Rob Haferman,
Russ from Tomes of Evil,
Brad Elmore,
Tony Iupi,
Jared Savedas,
Brink,
Bill from Long Island,
David D,
and MJ.
And now we list our Star God supporters who support us at the $10 a month level. You guys make it possible for us to do all of this, and you are barbarian deities in our eyes.
Yes.
People like Michael Giacchino,
Josh Link,
Jackson T. Overstreet,
Mark Nivens,
and Eric Hadley.
Thank you for your support.
So next episode, Matt, you and I are going to be going through Marvel Comics Presents number 54 through 56. It's a backup story with Jack called Children of the Beast. Now, these issues are sadly not available on Marvel Unlimited. Weirdly, the A stories are available on Marvel Unlimited. The B with Jack are not. So you may have to go to some corner of the internet and find them if you want to read along. Or buy the original issues from the back issues from your local comic shop. Why don't you do that? We would never suggest doing anything else aside from that.
No. These appear to be from the summer of 1990, by the way.
Okay.
These 3 issues.
Yeah. So we will have entered the 90s next week. So yeah, but I'm excited to read these backup stories. They're pretty good.
I am too. I think it was interesting that someone chose to have Jack kind of have a regular backup story. He appeared several times in Marvel Comics Presents. Mm-hmm. So this is Children of the Beast 1 through 6. We're doing 1 through 3 in one episode. And yeah, I'm curious to dive into some of this art. We got a taste of the changing art styles of at the House of Ideas this issue, and be interesting.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. So is that positive enough? I just remember the art in all these Marvel Comics Presents things being very like Sam Keith, very like bleeding edge, like
yep, it is.
Whatever is the coolest thing at the moment was how they looked. So I just some of it didn't age very well in my opinion. I thought Sam Keith was the shit in 1990, and I can barely read anything of his anymore. So I don't know.
Agreed.
Yeah. So cool. So join us next week for that. Again, once again, we have a voicemail, 971-220-5865, 971-220-JUNK. Call, leave a voicemail. Let us know what you're thinking. Okay, Jacob, I think we did a pretty good job here.
Definitely. No, that was a lot of fun. A little stroll down memory lane.
Yeah. I like the little quiz aspect that came up with the which issue was this. That was fun. We could have coordinated that a bit more. All right, till we meet again at the full moon, furry ones, here's howling at ya.